Hey YouTube, so I am just getting over, or not quite over yet, a cold that I've had all week. I actually had to miss work on Monday because it was to the point where I really couldn't do much except for sleep, which I ended up doing just about all day. So at least this time, I have a pretty good excuse for why I'm going to hate the way my voice sounds in this video. But yeah, so for this video, I actually want to talk about a friend of mine who ended up being a really fantastic ally, and who maybe didn't think too much of what she was doing when she was doing it, which I think almost makes it even a little bit better. But to give you some background, I came out to all of my classmates via an email, and roughly about half of them replied on sort of the day of receiving it. So I sent it out at something like 3 o'clock in the morning. They all got it that morning, like before they went to school, or sort of whenever they checked their email first. And I did get like a really great, fantastic sort of response from it. And then sort of just went about my sort of normal, as normal as it could be, kind of class routine. And then went home and then came back to school the next day. And so one of my friends in the program actually emailed me to say, like, hey, like, you were talking to some people and I wanted to come up and, sort of just talk to you and give you a big hug because I think you deserve one. And next time I see you, I owe you it. And so sure enough, the next time we sort of ran into each other, she gave me this big, huge hug. And she was really like one of the only people who actually was sort of physical with me at all. And while that's not like a huge deal in and of itself, but it's sort of nice to, feel normal and get a hug, especially after you come out to sort of everybody that you know in that program. And then later on, the next semester, so this was in April of 2011. And then I didn't really do too much with my transition until really that winter, so late 2011, early 2012. And I think it was class in the beginning of 2012, so like January, maybe early February, or late January, whatever, but we were giving a presentation in class, and she actually referred to me with female pronouns in front of the entire class, and I was standing up front with everybody and was kind of surprised by that because at that point I was still presenting male. She just kind of did it without thinking about it. I don't even think she probably did it all. She just had sort of internalized it and whatever and just put it out there, and was the first person to sort of do that in front of other people. And I had like some really good friends and who are some of my closest friends now who were very kind of supportive and embracing, but like more kind of in private before sort of helping push me out. And then so when I finally go out, made up for the first time. I went out for my birthday with those friends I just mentioned, and then it was this other girl's actual birthday party at a venue in Nashville. And so, I could see how maybe a lot of people would say, like look at that bitch, like, kind of stealing my birthday spotlight or whatever. But to be completely honest, like, I don't think she could have been any happier to see me sort of as me. And yeah, she was a little buzzed too, which probably made her a little bit friendlier. But it was just really sort of pretty cool. And then to sort of wrap up that whole kind of dynamic or whatever. She's actually part of the reason why I ended up in Dallas at my job, because just sharing some whatever. But that has like nothing to do with actual transition, just her sharing information with me about her experience at the other company I was looking at, which sort of cemented the fact that I wanted to be here. It didn't really drive that decision, but yeah, and I think also she might have been one of the first people I ran into in the ladies' restroom at school as well. So it just coincidentally happened to be all these things or whatever. But like, she didn't really go out of her way to try to be a good ally. She didn't, as far as I could tell. Like, I mean, maybe she did do things behind the scenes, but she was just, a warm, supportive friend who, yeah. And I think that is, like when people think about how do I need to be an ally, I think that is a great place to start, where you don't have to be one of the people who drags me over to their house, shows me how to use makeup, takes me out, drags me into the women's bathroom out at some public restaurant. Like, you don't have to do any of that stuff to be an ally. Like, a hug is great. An email just talking about giving a hug is pretty solid too. Then using those right pronouns. The more of this stuff you can do kind of unsolicited is great, but it's, like, I think you should give people space or whatever. But anyway, the point is that, like, it doesn't take a ton to be a good ally, and I think that everybody is certainly capable of it. And yeah, so I hope for those of you who aren't trans or aren't LGBT, you'll maybe have picked something up from that story that you can use to help make somebody else's transition or their coming out as successful as mine was.